Hello and welcome to episode 55 of Rebuilding Chelsea on FM23. I'm Jamie, and coming up on today's episode, it is the pre-season and transfer special. So we'll begin by showing you the transfers that I have already done. Okay, well, as you can see, we have already entered the market for two players. We've brought in Pau Torres from Villarreal for 100 million and Fabiano Parisi from Newcastle for 80 million pounds. So I'll show you Pau Torres to start with, although he should be familiar to most people. He's a centre-back, 29 years of age now, 55 caps and 3 goals for Spain. And he is 4 stars of ability and potential, so very much going to be a first choice centre back for us in the coming season, the final season of our save. And the second signing, as I said, I'm just going to show you. The second signing was Fabiano Parisi. And as you can see, he's a 25-year-old left-back from Italy with 14 caps for the national team, 3 stars of ability and potential. So he is very much going to be part of the squad. Hopefully he'll play quite a few games, but may not have it all his own way. So on to looking at what's happened in the other direction so far. And as you can see, one high-profile departure very early in the transfer window. Raheem Sterling's gone to Paris Saint-Germain for £48 million to partially offset the arrivals of those first two. And as you can see, the game clock has ticked over into the new season. No more arrivals yet, but we have had 3 more departures. Cesare Casadei, Jimmy J. Morgan, and another high-profile one in Mark Cucurella. And the reason I've let him go is because it's the final season of the save. And as you know, the rules dictate that all of the original squad must be gone before the end of the season. We got an offer from Barcelona, so I have decided to accept it and let him go. And I'll be back in a moment to show you the squad as it stands now, with one more signing potentially lined up, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. Okay, well, here is the squad as it stands now on the 1st of July, and I have highlighted 2 players. As you can see, they are the only 2 players in the squad without stars next to their names, so those 2 must be gone by the end of the January transfer window, because they have to be gone this season. So we will be entertaining any offers we get during this window for both Fofana and Enzo Fernandez. But to take you through the squad, goalkeeper we're already sorted. We've got Simon as first choice and Dennis Simon, who is ultimately going to be a better goalkeeper than Unai Simon, but for now he's the backup. We've got our 2 right backs in Reece James, who came through the youth setup here, and Vanderson, who was brought in. On to centre backs. And we brought in David Affengruber. He's very much a backup. Not going to be a major player for us. Doria is again another one who's a backup. Levi Colwill is one who's come through the youth team and will be a first team regular, just not yet. Wesley Fofana, as we've already said, is one who's going to be going. Benoit Badiashile is one who's able to be included because he has come through the youth setup, and I think he is now ready for first team football. Pau Torres is one of this transfer window's new arrivals. Sebastian Vegas is a 2.5 star centre-back, so another one who is really only a backup, and that's as good as he's going to get. And finally, Antonio Silva. Again, he's a new arrival, so at 4-star ability and 4.5-star potential, he's probably the best centre-back at the club, and definitely going to be a first-team regular this season. On to left-back, and Owen Veindel arrived under my watch, so he's very much part of the squad. Parisi was an arrival in this transfer window. They're actually pretty similar in terms of ability and potential. They're both 3 stars. Parisi very slightly younger than Veindel, but I'll try and share their load as much as possible. On to defensive midfield, and we've just got one in there at the moment, Sven Botman, who is good enough to start and is a new arrival, so he can play. Then we come to Enzo Fernandez, who's one of the ones who's got to leave. He is one of the best players at the club, so we need to replace him with quality. Mason Mount is one who is allowed to stick around. He's come through the youth setup here, so that's fine. Jude Bellingham, I signed him, so that's fine. Likewise, Guendouzi and Thuram and Simons. And then on to the right wing, Neres was one of my signings at 2.5 stars of ability and potential. He's not a world beater, but he's decent. Likewise, Noni Madueke came through the youth setup here. He's got very slightly more potential than David Neres, but João Mario is clearly the first choice right winger. Carney Chukwuemeka is now part of the first team squad at 2.5 stars of ability, 3 stars of potential. He's another one that's come through the youth setup, so therefore we can keep around. On to left wingers. Evan Nielsen is one of my signings, and at 4 stars of ability and potential, 26 years of age. He's in the prime of his life, so he's very much going to be included. And Ez Abde is another one of my signings. He's a 3-star ability and potential, slightly younger at 24, but he's going to play second fiddle this season to Evan Nielsen, although he does have the advantage that he can also play on the right hand side as well. Then finally the strikers. We've got 2 at the club at the moment. Benjamin Sesko, who is one of my signings at 4.5 stars of ability and potential and 23 years of age. He is an absolute superstar. Likewise, Yusufa Makoku, 21 years of age, 4.5 stars of ability, 4.5 stars of potential. I signed him as well, and therefore I think up front we're probably complete. So I'm probably only looking at 1, maybe 2 more signings in this window or the January window, and a couple of departures, and we're done. So I'll be back in a moment when I've got the next arrivals and departures to show you. Okay, it is now the 6th of July, and as you can see, since the last update, there has been 1 signing. No further departures yet. So I'll show you Manuel Ugarte, who arrives from Newcastle for an outlay of £117 million. And as you can see, he is a 25-year-old defensive midfielder, 3 stars of current ability, 4 stars of potential, and he's already got 45 caps for Uruguay and loads of games for Newcastle, 110 appearances before we signed him. So very much going to be a player that we're going to use a lot in that defensive midfield role. So I'll be back towards the end of July to show you any further arrivals or departures, and then we'll begin to round up pre-season. So I'll be back to talk to you again in just a moment. Okay, here is the squad as it stands on the eve of the new season. There will be further departures. I'm not expecting any more arrivals necessarily, but here's the squad as it is today. Unai Simon and Dennis Simon, the goalkeepers. Simon definitely still first choice. Simon still predicted to be a better long-term goalkeeper. Two right-backs in Vanderson and Reece James, with not much to choose between them, but Reece James with slightly more potential, although he is older, so I'm probably banking on Vanderson ending up as first choice. On to centre-backs. David Affengruber is on the transfer list, so I'm looking to get rid of him if we can. We've got Doria, who is 31 and 2.5 stars, is only ever going to be a backup. Levi Colwill, a homegrown centre-back, 2.5 stars of current ability, 3.5 stars of potential, so I'm going to try and give him as much football as I can. Pau Torres is a 4-star ability and potential player, so clearly one of our best centre-backs at the club. Sebastian Vegas is 2.5 stars of ability and potential, so again nothing really more than a backup. And Antonio Silva is the other first choice centre-back at 4 stars of ability, 4.5 stars of potential, and 22 years of age. Has the world at his feet, and I'll be looking to give him loads of game time too. On to left backs, Owen Veindel and Fabiano Parisi, the left backs. Nothing to choose between them. The only difference, Parisi is a year younger, so I'll probably slightly favour him. On to defensive midfield, we've got two decent options in there now, in Sven Botman and Manuel Ugarte. Sven Botman, 3 stars of ability, 3.5 stars of potential at 26 years old. And Ugarte is just a year younger, 3 stars of current ability also, but 4 stars of potential, so again probably favouring Ugarte very slightly. On to central midfield, and this is one of the strongest areas of the team. Mason Mount at 4 stars of ability and potential. We've got Jude Bellingham, who is the same, 4 stars of ability and potential, but 4 years younger than Mason Mount. Guendouzi is 3 stars of ability and potential, and at 27 he's maxed out. So Kefren Turam is next, 25 years old, 4 stars of ability and potential, and Xavi Simons is 23, 3 stars of ability and potential, so sadly it doesn't look like he's going to develop anymore. On to the right hand side, and we've got 29-year-old David Neres, who is 2.5 stars of ability and potential. 24-year-old Noni Madueke, who is 2.5 stars of ability but 3 stars of potential. And João Mario, who is 3 stars of ability and potential and 26 years old. So João Mario is going to start as first choice, but I'm going to be looking to give Noni Madueke plenty of opportunities, and I'll look to move David Neres on if at all possible. On to the left hand side, Evan Nielsen is 4 stars of ability, 4 stars of potential, and at 26 he's maxed out. Ansu Fati, the latest new arrival, is 23, but 4 stars of ability, 4 stars of potential. He looks like he's maxed out, but will be first choice. And finally, Ez Abde, at 24, he's 3 stars of ability, 3 stars of potential. So he is going to be probably at the head of the queue for the third choice as a left winger. And finally, strikers, we've got 2. Benjamin Sesko, who is 4.5 stars of ability and potential and 23 years old. Yusufa Mokoku is exactly the same, 4.5 stars of ability, 4.5 stars of potential, but is younger at 21, so still has the potential to improve to the full 5 stars if everything goes according to plan. So that is the squad as it stands now, and I'll be back in a moment to show you how pre-season went. Okay, here are the pre-season results, and as you can see, we began with a 2-2 draw away to Brighton and Hove Albion. We then beat Lincoln on the road 2-0. We beat Dagenham and Redbridge on the road 3-0. We won 1-0 at home to Juventus, 2-0 at home to Dortmund, and then finally we lost 1-0 away to Paris Saint-Germain in a testimonial for Presnel Kimpembe. So before I leave you, I'm going to show you the predicted Premier League table and then tell you what's coming up on the next episode. So here we go with the season preview, and as you can see, we're expected to finish 4th, but we are very much in the conversation for the title with odds of 6-1, although we do only have one player in the Media Dream 11, that being Benjamin Sesko, one of our strikers. So let's have a look now at when we're going to come back, and I'm going to come back immediately, obviously, and I'll show you the Community Shield against Manchester City and the home game against Arsenal in the Premier League. And as you can see, we've got a really tough start with Arsenal and Manchester United in the first 2 games. So it doesn't take a genius to work out where the episode after that is going either. And if you've enjoyed that, please leave a nice thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for Monday to Friday Football Manager videos. Thank you very much indeed for watching, and goodbye.